Hello and welcome as today's date comes in that of Saturday, the 22nd of June 2019. My name is Derek. Like always, all bets, trades of the like within each his own risk and their own reward. Those whom holding on to Bitcoin, prices are going higher, 11,155. So from this move down, and first off, we're going to take a look at this Fibonacci. Okay, we're at the 9,800 level. It kind of had resistance noticeably piercing below, and I figured if it's going to have any type of resistance, it's going to be well above. I figured at least 10,800 area, and well, it's a little past that. And as I've been stating, all I can really state long term is that it's due for a pullback at some point. It has to complete this breakout rally from the breakout of this resistance. It's already had a legitimate move. I look at like the three little bears for something, like the porridge and the beds. Oh, is it too big, too small, or just right? Too hot, too cold, just right? Up too much, too little, just right? That's the type of thing I look for in here, and it's only just starting to work into getting past the too little to the just right stage. And when you get into this level, you could have extreme volatility. You can go into major hog wild moves. And if we look at the volume here, and I think it's best if you can find any type of Bitcoin with all cumulative volume, Coinbase plus all the US dollar tethers, anything related to that, and you start to see really, really heavy volume, and most likely coming in on like obviously big moves. And then that could be indication, one of them, that we might be hitting an intermediate term top. And at some point, there's going to be a correction here. And one of the things I was stating within this green candle, well, it's not in need for any type of correction at this stage. In fact, if anything, it was looking like it was going to go higher, and it has. On the daily term time frame, it left the 18 average on the 14th of June. A little bit of sideways correction here at previous high. And that's a strong thing. You see it holding and staying in that area for an okay amount of time. And then within the last couple of days, breaking out, getting past this level of resistance, and a very good leg move to the upside within the 4-hour term time frame. Just continuously green candle after green candle moving higher. A little bit of correctionary, nice wild period here, and it has followed through up and up and up, barely past this level of resistance. So short term, way overextended. But it says maybe here, because you see how it comes to this little resistance, goes side, or it corrects sideways through time, almost to the 18. And then this little period here getting above it. 11 seconds left as the top of the hour is almost in at 10 o'clock. I pause period from this. So short term, there's still no evidence that this thing is going to stop going down. If anything, the evidence is showing the opposite, that we should be in for another short term rally. Buyers are in full control at trying to short this market. Obviously, you're almost like trying to get in front of a train that's moving at full speed or something. It's a fool's game to say, okay, yeah, this is going to be the top, and just start picking away at it. Now, of course, if you're good at it, you can find and you can get good success at it. Well, then whatever systems or functions that you use to do it, if it works, keep on using it, of course. And then my strategy, I talk about just buy low, sell high. So if it gets to here, okay, we're at a point where maybe you sell a little bit, then you sell again at another level, like say 15,000, then 20,000, then 28, or something like that. That's, of course, one of the strategies. And I'm going to get into that, of course, when we get into Theta and Neo, as two different coins coming up very soon. And again, we can see how good this is within this move in here. This thing's looking like it wants to break out past this point. We got this in the 5-minute term time frame. If this is what we're using, this is a great thing as far as using this as your gauge to if this rally, the short term, is going to come in, or if it's even going to attempt any kind of pullback. The 18 has been great support on both resistance and such for the highs and the lows. And if you see any type of thing within it that it's looking like it wants to get above and break it higher right now, all this is doing on a progressive scale is having 3 periods well a bit above the 18 average of lows. So it's kind of showing strength at the 18 average of highs within a sideways correctionary move. And oftentimes it becomes difficult to do it because they'll just break out above it. We'll see 11.7. Next thing you know, maybe 25 seconds later, we're at 11,240. And that can be very common too. So trying to just time this thing in the fast markets could be very, very difficult. Now, speaking of fast markets, let's take a look at Theta. And I want to do multiple time frames, weekly to the 5 on this. Even the one, actually, I haven't even seen the one. And it might be something I want to see. Okay, so this to me is one of the top volatile coins, and we're going to see intraday why that's just such the case. And of course, the movements when we look at the weekly. This was like a mini hour event on November the 30th, 2018. What happened was the market was in this like 1200 or so Satoshi number, and it just went way up to like this is yeah, it went up to 3600. But it did so from like 8 o'clock at night up until like 2, 3, 4 in the morning, and then it pulled back down in the day. And it took in the morning you were in the 2200s, and then it would just grind its way down relatively quickly after that. Then this multi-week move over to over 5,000, giving it all back, and then from this point, after several red candles down, small rally to here, and then pulling back. Of course, a lot of that due to Bitcoin gains. Daily chart. After this correctionary move, you can see it spends a lot of time. And interestingly, this to me, I was looking forward here to this thing having a great pop because it was showing a lot of strength within the 18 average of highs. Never did even attempt to get back over it. And then we say down, 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 breaking that trend, breaking the up move, getting below the 18, and then has just been consistently going down, now back to previous low. On the 4-hour term time frame, there's a decent down move, sideways correction, breaking the 18, and now it's due at some point for a correctionary move. It's had a couple interesting volatile periods. We're going to look more at that because it's just a recent event. Let's take a look at the single hour term and what is up with this bottom in here in this here. And we're going to take a look at that. It is fantastic. Although, if you could take advantage of it. I slept in a little today. I wish I wouldn't, but that's fine. 15-minute term time frame. Okay. And I want to take a look at the 5 because we can see it like that. Yeah. So just the normal movements. Of course, in here, this is 2100 hours down to 23. Price action falls from 1240 down to 1140. That's a 100 basis point move, 7 or 8%. I was busy buying. Then a little bit of a move up here. A little bit of a move down there. What is that little bit of a move? Well, it's going from 1140 to 1185. So that's like 4%. And then obviously 4% down. But in this situation here, we had a low of 1142 go up to 1242. That's 100 basis points, or about 9%. And it happened that fast. And then it comes back, congests and stays with for a while, and then another surge move higher. So 1240 back to 1120. A 10% move. And then back up to 1210. And right now, it comes back down. Okay, well, how's this going to settle in? This is just wild action nonsense. Trying to predict if we're going to 1,300 or below 1,100 Satoshi next to me is hard. But having wild movements coming here. But if you're looking at the buy low, sell high, if you happen to be active and you happen to see this, let's just go to the 1 because that's really want to see. I suppose the only way you were getting this here was with an order. That's the only way it could have happened. Possibly you might have had like 10, 20 seconds at it, but I'm even doubting that. I'm expecting what happened on that minute is somebody just made a big buy. They bought it all the way up to 1244, and that's what they got. But even if you were just selling in here at 1182, you were able to buy back. And I was buying... Oh, I didn't get this number. I didn't get up actually until 9 o'clock. So I was buying in here at 1160, 1200, in that range there. But if you're able to get those, and that's the thing, you have to be there and ready to go. They're going to come, they're going to go. And I'm going to miss a lot of them, and that's fine. Even when you're there ready to go, sometimes you're still going to miss because things can be too fast, and maybe you don't quite hit your target number until 1126. You're waiting for 1111. Those sort of things are going to happen. But the fact that you know that it's got this type of volatility knows when other coins like LITECOIN and the Monero and Bitcoin are all having rallies together, all the altcoins are going, where the average altcoin is going up whatever X percent. Most likely this one is going to do much, much better than average when we have good crypto markets. And then whenever this one individually is ready to go, like it was on this day in this moment, it's going to do just that. And right now, NEO is looking to get going. Or at least it's Attempting to, because it was at the bottom area, well below the 18 average of lows, a few days down, and then it had a move getting to the lows, breaking it, getting to the highs, breaking it, testing and piercing above the resistance in here. Technically not seeing price action since levels not seen in May. And what did this mean short term? Just this. I end up waking up to a to a nice ratio differential, because I've been playing the ratio game with the black screen, and I'll pick away at a 7, 8, 9, 10% move, but I want organically big moves. So when I woke up, there was a 21% differential on the ratio, and I got 22.5% because I ended up selling about 20%, 18 or so percent, 19% of the Neo that I owned, which I traded against Theta, and I bought Theta with it. Now, this thing is going to move wild. You know what? I really hope that it either goes, okay, let's come down in here, or go way back up again. And then if it goes back down in here, I'll take some of that Theta, buy Neo back. And if it goes higher, of course, always depending on what Theta's doing, I'll end up selling some more. It doesn't take long to send this to the from the hardware wallet to Binance to get traded. Maybe 4 minutes, 5 minutes, so it's relatively fast. And then 15-minute time after this, and I think I need to see this on the 1. So this thing got going at 8:46 a.m. and it stopped going at about 9:22, 9:23. So again, I was up at like 9 o'clock, and what did I get for a sell? Let me check. I got 1,700 even after 1372 the day before. So I sold, or let's just take a look at it. 1372. So I would have sold it here when it was just going sideways, doing nothing. Because remember, Theta was just going down straight, straight, straight. So here was a spot where we have these other coins going down barely or going sideways kind of deal. So I'll sell it because of the Theta ratio. And of course, this type of move, just fantastic. And to be able to get the 17 number, that was pretty cool. So now, I mean, if this goes down in here, I can get a very good trade-off. I'll just take some of the Theta. I haven't withdrawn them off the exchange yet. Even it wouldn't matter anyway, because it literally takes like a minute for me to take the Theta from my wallet and then send it to Binance for the availability ready to sell. Stuff like Bitcoin Cash can take me hours, a couple hours or so. So coins like Komodo, sending Komodo to Binance will take you an hour and a half. Gross Coin, GRS, will take you 40 minutes. Some of the coins maybe you want to put into orders, like Bitcoin Cash. Okay, I'm going to put 15% of it on exchanges. Still a scary spot, but overall for my net currency portfolio, by doing stuff like that for a few coins like that, at most, like 2% of my coins should be on the exchange. And then once I withdraw whatever needs to be funded out, then I'll probably have like 1.2% or something. So I'm going to go over the spreadsheet again that I use, which is manual. I'm looking to make it better, but I'm not probably the next few weeks. I'll probably do it, not looking at it today or next week. So I just manually put the numbers in. There's ARC here, I see 474. So I just write in that number manually. Bitcoin Cash is 4162, so it's up about quarter of a percent. I'm looking to sell .BCH for DGB, and we're going to see a wild ride with DGB because it did a lot of similar thing. Dash here is at 1627, so it's no change. DGB down 1 basis point, but it could be whatever. You could try to get better points with your buying or selling. There's two different prices on them, and they're one differential off practically every time. ETC's at 832, GoCoin 179, not really much of a change. GRS 3862, Commode at 1230, and it's been having some wild moves too. But that's what I like to see, is the volatility picking up. We've had a lot of periods recently where it just hasn't been too big. There's almost a 1% move on Litecoin, going to 1,300 Satoshi almost. Neo down to 1568. So we're going to see how that. I probably got a decent trade, especially if Theta's over 1,200, which it's not. 1189. Qtum 355. Sky 181. If you want any questions on making spreadsheets like this, I'm not making them for anybody. Maybe at cost or something. I've been thinking, oh, do I do stuff like that? Do work for people like this? Portfolio management? Because I kind of want career. I mean, I would like to be stuff like a private investing manager, quote unquote. But literally, it'd be Like a lot of stuff I see on here, diversification, you being in control, protecting your own wallets, all that type of stuff. Different mechanisms. Okay, put these coins together. Let's trade it this way. Let's work for this kind of volatility. Let's use this for profit-taking measures and stuff like that. But you know what? I don't ever see much on that. But you never know. Okay, so XRP Theta 7.85%. The market's going higher, which means Ripple's overperforming Theta. And I just sold Ripple earlier today for Theta. But I wouldn't mind getting a 9 or 10% move given how big volatile this is happening to be. 7.8% for uh, Neo and Theta. But this time it's going down. Last trade was 142.6. So if it goes down, I'd be selling Theta for Neo. Obviously, I sold Neo at the top and I got Theta pretty much somewhere in the area where it is now. 6.4% for Litecoin and Komodo, so it's going up. I'm going to be looking to sell Litecoin to buy Komodo, but I want a bit better of a move. And Litecoin Go, I'm probably going to make a trade on this. I'm going to be looking to trade this relatively soon because I really am looking for 6% or more. The price action is lower. That means I'm going to be selling Go to buy Litecoin. And on the radar, we got stuff like Dash and Theta, which has been on such more times than not. This one, I mean, I should have. If I had Bitcoin Cash on the exchange, I don't know what would have happened because it marked Bitcoin just or DGB just went way up. That's the point I noticed. Oh, it was like 12% or something because that's when DGB was like much lower. So I've deposited Bitcoin Cash in there, and it's still going to take me an hour and a half or two to get it. So let's take a look at DGB. And 1 minute time frame, we're going to, and when we look at this on the single hour, it's just been straight down from that 175 high, 175 down to 120. So the differential is like 50 points. 50 points on 120, we're looking at 40%. Not just your standard, wow. Daily time frame, as we can see, failed breakout, and if you're looking for like too small, too big, and all that, technically, it's a little bit on the high end for too small, and it's barely big enough for too big of a fast move area. But on the 1 minute turn, way down, way up, and I can't see it too well in here. But again, I got up a little after 9, so this is what I seen. I seen 121, and I'm like, okay, let's. I gotta buy. And then of course this is happening, so I'll just keep it on there. No big whoop having a little bit of coins on the exchange. I used to have way too many back in the day. Not anymore though. Next up, Bitcoin Cash. The coin I was looking to sell, of course, to buy another, and it's going down and it's broken down below this level of support. This little strong setup. Many attempts to get above it. Obviously never did it. We'll call it failed breakout. Attempts fast move lower already. How much faster lower it goes? Well, we're at this level of support I've mentioned. We could go deeper into it possibly as far as uh, and then even breaking below this one, we're talking about this support here at 36, but it could go wherever, no matter what. Okay, we're here, we're here. So once we go a bit, we're at the lower end of here. We leave that. Oh, now we're on the upper end of here. Okay, now we're deep into that area, 36. Oh, now we're in the bottom end of this area. So, I mean, support, there's really no number I can give. It's just all the way down to 31.5 represents past history from where we now stand at this point. But when you combine this or compare this to what this looks like against the US dollar, because this is compared against BTC, which is kicking ass, well, let's just take a push this and oh, different. It's got so we go from an extreme bearish breakdown setup to a very good bullish setup as we have a situation in here where we have this level of resistance. We've held this support many periods in here. And within what we're seeing in the last 2 days, another attempt to break out on this trend. Last time it had an attempt that did so on low volatility for a decent amount of days. Now much higher volatility with the size of today's and yesterday's green candle. And back to this previous area, I'd like to see if it's not going to go up now for this area in here to be some support and continued resistance in here. So maybe have daily trade ranges between 416 and 456, 460. But breaking out above that, like all situations, you have a nice leg higher, you correct it, and then you break that level in here. You could have spectacular gains usually. And a quick look at Litecoin, just doing the same thing that I did with Bitcoin. Let's take a look at Litecoin against the Bitcoin, BTC, which is trying to make maybe a double top, but it has to get down to this 113 neckline. as we had this lower high after this amazing high. We'll call that a higher high because of all of these highs it made. It made so many of them on the way up. So now from this low, it has made one good deep higher low. And then this is a good deep lower high. So far, a higher low, symmetricalness. You can make an uptrend line from this low. You can make an uptrend from this low. Neither one of them have broken. But this is just hitting that line. And then, of course, easy to make an downtrend line with two spots like this and far, far away from it. If you make a downtrend line to the current one, we had this one in here where you have, say, something like this. It's not a straight line. But what I do, and I already know what the result of this is you draw a exact parallel, like exact rate of a descent line of the same rate, and you connect the support levels. And what you would notice is it would break down below this level in here. No big whoop, but what that means is major volatility. We probably could have sharp moves back higher, definitely more sharp moves to the downside, and that could easily be the case in spots like that. And that's the point. And that could even happen, especially if Bitcoin goes to 13, 14,000, and Litecoin continues to do what we're going to see here on the dollar image, because this is the one for that, and then we go like this, and much different. Oh, way, 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 way much different. Just continuously going up. Now at 144. We are at levels not seen last since May of last year. So we're now at 13-month highs. $190.88. That represents a 76.4% Fibonacci from the low of like around the 20s area and the highs south of the 400 handle at 370 and 66 cents. I kept that line in there. Wow. Thank you for tuning in. Have yourself a great day. Bye bye.